Hey guys, so a quick short video today for the Ehlers Danlos charity event that I'm doing. Obviously, you'll all know that I am trying to set the record for the fastest time to run, walk 5 million steps, which is going pretty well. I'm currently on day 30 and I think I'm at about 1.5 million steps, but that'll be confirmed later. Now, as you know, as well as raising much needed funds, my other thing I wanted to do was raise awareness of the condition because it's really poorly misunderstood, not only by sort of qualified practitioners, doctors and medical teams, but obviously really misunderstood by general public. I think lots of people, if anyone has heard of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, especially hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, think that we're all just a bit bendy. And that's why I've done videos on things like some of the other symptoms and some of the other sort of parts of our body it can affect. Now, one part that really is affected for me is my digestive system, which I've spoken about in previous videos, which you can find down below. But today I wanted to talk you through one of the most important pieces of medical equipment that I use to manage my condition. Now, those of you who have known me for a little while, perhaps girls I used to go on hockey trips with, or perhaps friends and family, will know that I've had to use my poo bag for quite a number of years. Now, poo bag, actually its official name is the Peristine Irrigation System, made here in the UK, I think, by a company called Coloplast. Fantastic team of people in terms of like medical professionalism, support that they give me is fantastic, and they make the process of ordering the equipment really, really simple, which is what you need when it's something that you're going to have to use for the rest of your life. But what I thought is I would talk you through kind of how it works. So everyone knows that your bowels, well maybe not everyone, but essentially what happens in your bowels is your bowels have muscle, okay, and nerves that do this. This is called peristalsis, and this squeezes essentially the poo through your bowel. It takes a while, but it squeezes it all the way through until it gets to your rectum, which is like your butt, and then the muscles in your bum and the nerve endings go, oh, we need to get rid of this, and pushes it out. Now, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome means that we have, in the nicest way possible, sagginess, okay? Now that sounds like a bit of a horrible word, sagginess, doesn't it? But it's true. Due to the lack of collagen and that tone in the muscle and that contraction, everything is a bit saggy. So people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome can have things such as prolapses, and that can be at any point of the digestive system. You can have things like hernias. You can also have something called a rectocele, which is where part of the rectum sort of slips forward and everything falls on top of each other. But the other thing is we have incredibly slow transit. So through the whole digestive system, our bowels don't do this. Our bowels are kind of like really, really slow, making its way down. And so one of the biggest problems is constipation. Now, most people have heard of laxatives. That's one way of dealing with constipation. So you can take stool softeners, you can take stimulants, you can take bulking agents, just to name a few. You've got things like lactulose, Movicol, which are all softeners. You've got Dulcolax, things like prucalopride, which are all stimulants, and your bulk forming ones such as, I always forget, Fibrogel, which helps you make sort of a more formed stool, okay? Now the other side is irrigation equipment. Now through the years I have used numerous different irrigation systems, which essentially are a bit like an enema. If you don't know what an enema is, it's essentially something you put up your back passage to try and encourage poo to come out of your rectum if it's around that area. Now, previous irrigation systems that I've used are essentially a cone that you put up your bum, you fill the container with water and you pump water through the system, a bit like a colonic irrigation, to try and flush out your back passage. Now, the problem is, as I said previously, lots of people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome have prolapsing rectocele and lots of tissue sort of getting in the way of that water being able to go up. Now this is where Peristine is different, and I want to show you guys quickly Peristine so you know what I'm talking about. So essentially it comes in a bag like this. This is the main part, so this is the pump. So we have the bag, okay, so this is what I fill with sort of lukewarm water. You have a measure along here to see how much water you want to put in. For me personally, I use a litre, so I fill it right to the top. You then have one of these, which is your pump. You then have this, which attaches to this, and this also attaches to this, okay? Once you're all connected, the final bit of the deal is you have one of these, which is a rectal catheter. Okay, now a catheter works a bit like a balloon, and what this does, this connects to here, like so. Okay, this bit goes up your bottom. Okay, and this bit here, I'm going to try and show you guys. Once it's in place, inflates like a balloon. Okay, you see that? So that will be inside my bottom. Okay, balloon inflates, and then what happens is I put it onto water mode. Okay, which then allows the water to flow up into my rectum and into my descending colon. Okay, now the reason the balloon is really important is all of those bits of tissue and prolapse and rectocils that I spoke about. It helps basically move it out of the way, okay, and gives the water a passageway to work through. And then essentially you feed all the water up the system, and then that stimulant of having all the water sent up, the idea is that hopefully it brings all the water back out, and with any poo or anything that's sort of stuck along your digestive system. Now, it's a really, really successful system. I do know of other EDS patients that use this system, and it does a really, really good job, especially because it has got that catheter, which is different to any other irrigation product that I've certainly used previously. But obviously it does come with its problems. I'll tell you a few of them. So one problem you have is when this is inside, if you overinflate that balloon, or if something is obstructing that balloon, it can pop. And that is a very strange sensation, sometimes painful. It can feel very bizarre if you have a balloon pop up your bum. Second thing is that sometimes, for no apparent reason, you can inflate, you can send all the water up, but then sometimes the water doesn't come back out. Now that can cause real bad pain in your tummy. Imagine putting a litre of water into your tummy and it just sitting there. It doesn't make you feel bloated, it makes you feel ginormous. It can be really, really uncomfortable. And sometimes it just doesn't come out. And obviously, the other complication with this system is that, let's say, it's not really the easiest thing to do in public. Okay, so we have a much better understanding these days of things like colostomy bags, ileostomy, of changing equipment and stuff. It's a little less accepted for me to sort of just pull my trousers down and whack my catheter up my bum. I also do have to have a supply of clean water, and I have to have enough time where I can sit and relax to do it. So it can be quite complicated, and I have spoken in previous, I feel like I'm pointing with this, I have spoken in previous videos about making sure I do my bag at a regular time and how important that is. So yeah, it can sort of cause quite a lot of disruption into your life if you don't have the ability to sort of have that structure. But essentially, like I said, it is the most important piece of equipment when it comes to managing my condition. It has definitely given me a lot of life back. I've been using it for a few years and it really does help. But important for me is that I want to try and spread the word a little bit more about it, because I would say I have spoken to Coloplast in the past, and I think something like for every colostomy bag user that they have, like say they have like 20 colostomy users, I think they have like one Peristeen user. It's really not well known about. Some medical people that I've spoken to in the past don't even know what I'm talking about. Like they have no idea what I'm talking about. So it's really important, especially to my friends and family and people around me, because I don't want it to be a taboo subject, and I don't want it to be something that people are afraid to talk about, because that's not nice for me, but also, you know, why the hell shouldn't we talk about it? You know, it's something we all have to go for a poo, okay? We would die if we didn't poo. So yeah, I just have to do it a little bit differently. So yeah, essentially that is the Peristeen. I wanted to tell you guys about it. It's pretty much saved my life. So yeah, it's done me the world of good. So yeah, any questions that anyone has about it, you know, perhaps if you're someone with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and are wondering whether it could help you, or perhaps you already use it and are thinking, oh God, I have this horrible side effect from it and don't know how to sort of like, don't know who to talk to, please honestly send me a message. Send me a message on here, or I will link over to my Instagram page, which is Monica Petrosino PT. You know, send me a message on there, or head over to my website, which is MPT Personal Training.co.uk. Again, send me a message on there. Send me a message anywhere and I'll be happy to talk about it. I honestly, like, if I could make a living out of talking about shit, I would. I really enjoy talking about poo. Call me like a modern Gillian McKeith or something. So yeah, send your questions over, and I hope today has helped give you a little bit more information.